The day I learned how different trust could look across the stars began with a simple mistake. I came home early, from a shift at the orbital docks, tired, and thinking only of food and sleep. The apartment lights were dim, the air humming softly with "the recycler." I called out, got no answer, and headed down the hall. The door to the shared wash chamber was half open. I pushed it without thinking. She was there. Yalian roommate Kais stood near the mirror, her iridescent skin shifting colors like oil on water. The garments she wore were half folded on a bench. Ephro's heat rushing to my face, Anne turned away at once, a stammered an apology, words tripping over each other, already backing out. Then she spoke. "Don't go, please." Her voice carried Akam urgency, not embarrassment. Is stopped, staring at the wall, unsure what to do. I asked if she wanted privacy. She said she did, but she also needed help, and the timing was unfortunate. I swallowed and waited for her to explain. Kais belonged to auspices that regulated body temperature and health through specialized attire woven with living fibers. The garments responded to touch patterns, pressure and alignment. Today, the fibers were not responding. She had a cultural gathering that evening, one that required the attire to be tuned correctly. Without it, she would be considered unwell. She asked if I could assist with the alignment. She said it would be respectful, not intimate, and thought I could. Keep my eyes averted. He hesitated, then agreed. We had shared an apartment for months, cooked together, argued about music volume, laughed about him in idioms. Trust had grown quietly between us. I stood behind her, eyes fixed on the floor tiles, while Shay handed me the garment. The fabric felt warm and faintly alive, like holding a sleeping animal. She guided my hands with precise instructions. Lift here, press there, hold until the color steadies. As I followed her directions, the garment pulsed softly. Color settled from chaotic flashes into smooth bands of teal and silver. Kais exhaled in relief. She explained that her PO pleased for help when they trusted someone with their well-being. The request was not casual. It was a declaration. When the alignment finished, she stepped away, dressed fully. I finally turned around. Her posture was straighter, her colors calm and bright. She thanked me with a formal bow that she reserved for elders and mentors. I felt something tighten in my chest, a mix of pride and humility. Later that evening, I watched Head prepare to leave. She paused at Theodore and asked if I would like to attend the gathering as her guest. Humans wear her at such events, she said, but welcomed if invited properly. I agreed, surprised by my own eagerness. The gathering took place in a hall grown from crystalline vine. Light refracted through living walls, painting everyone 9 shifting hues. Kais introduced me not as a roommate, but as a helper off health, a title that drew respectful nods. I realized then that my small acthoed weight beyond the apartment. Music. Rose. She explained the rhythms, the meanings behind the movements. I listened, learned, and tried to follow. When I stumbled, she studied me, patient, amused. Laughter brightened the gaps between worlds. On the walk home, we spoke about boundaries, about how accidents could become choices, and how choices could become bonds. She sat it on her world. Families were formed be moments of care, not blood alone. I said that on mine. We were still learning that lesson. Back at the apartment, the lights dimmed again, familiar and warm. We shared tea and quiet conversation. Nothing dramatic followed. No declarations, no promises, just understanding. The next morning, I taped a small note near the wash chamber door. Knock first, always kiss. Added a symbol beside it that meant trust. Grows where care is given. I smiled every time I passed it, reminded that sometimes the universe tests us with awkward moments and rewards us when we choose kindness over fear.